A car accident. I lost 10 years of memories. When I woke up, my childhood sweetheart, Diana, looked at me with disgust. How long are you going to keep up this act? Johnson, you really deserve to die. My breath caught in my throat. The girl who was once innocent and gentle had transformed overnight into a mature woman in a business suit. With fiery red lipstick, beautiful to the point of being breathtaking. Opening my eyes, everything before me was a sterile white. My nose filled with the smell of disinfectant. Diana was sitting right next to the hospital bed. And when she heard the sound, she looked up. Her deep gaze dark and profound. How long are you going to keep up this farce? Johnson, do you find this amusing? In her eyes was unconcealed disgust. I was stunned, understanding nothing. She didn't bother to explain. Standing up and walking away, only coldly throwing back. Fend for yourself. What are you talking about? I reached out, wanting to grab the hem of her clothes. But it was in vain. The sound of high heels faded away. A few images flashed in my mind. Her face turned cold. I only like this face of yours. Who you are doesn't matter. What makes you think you have the right to point fingers at me? What exactly happened? Diana and I grew up together in the orphanage. Truly childhood sweethearts. We once swore to be together for life. Whether as lovers or as eternal family. Yet, when did everything turn into this? While I was still confused, the doctor entered. I quickly asked, what exactly happened to me? The doctor replied, the accident caused a head injury, leading to memory issues. It is now the year 2025. While your memory is stuck in 2015. Mr. Johnson, as per the agreement, I haven't told the madam about your condition. But unfortunately, after the accident, your body has worsened considerably. Without treatment, you only have a maximum of half a year left to live. His words struck me like lightning. My life had become a joke. I only slept once and woke up 10 years later. The person I loved no longer loved me. And my life was counting down. Diana did not appear after that. She was always busy. No one could explain the things in my head about the corporation. News reported that she was a long-lost wealthy heiress who had been reunited with her family 9 years ago. And I was the one she insisted on marrying, even against her family's wishes. Newspapers even recorded the wedding of the century 5 years ago. In the photo, she wore a white wedding dress, smiling at me, her eyes filled with starlight. After being discharged from the hospital, the driver took me back to our house. A luxurious villa I had never seen before. The house of Diana and me. I quickly looked around everywhere. The housekeeper was flustered. The master and madam are busy. I immediately pushed open the bedroom door. Behind the door, Diana was wearing a bathrobe, sitting in the lap of a tall, handsome man. The bedsheets were messy, the atmosphere was suggestive. An indescribable scent filled the room. It was obvious what they had just done. Diana, I roared. She immediately yelled. Get out. I asked. Who is he? She didn't answer, casually throwing the desk lamp straight at me. The glass shattered everywhere. The man tightly pulled his bathrobe closed. Looking at me defiantly. Something exploded in my head. I lunged and punched him straight in the face. We struggled. He grabbed a vase and smashed it against my arm. Diana grabbed my collar. Slap, a thunderous slap. Johnson, are you done? Her eyes looked as if she wished I would die immediately. The man wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, slowly stood up, and held Diana's hand with concern. Are you okay? That sight hit my eyes, causing unbearable pain. She hugged him tightly, declaring her ownership. Johnson, I repeat, we have been sleeping separately for a long time, and we are about to divorce. Whatever relationship I have with him. How does it concern you? I looked at the empty wall. A scene flashed by. Diana holding a hammer, smashing all the wedding photos in the villa. At 18, I never thought our future would turn out like this. I vaguely asked, what exactly happened? Facing my confused eyes, Diana sneered with a cold smile, another new act? Only when a drop of blood fell from my hand did a look of panic appear on her face. Your hand. She reached out as if to grab me. I turned and walked away emotionlessly. 10 years later, Diana and I were married. Had a luxurious house just as we once dreamed. Except for the love between us. When the secretary called, I was lying looking at the ceiling, trying to digest everything. I rummaged through both my phone and computer. But my mind was still blank. Mr. Johnson, there is a very important meeting tomorrow that requires your attendance. I was silent for a moment before replying. I have a bit of a problem. I'm afraid I can't handle it. The secretary hesitated. Perhaps you should consult CEO Diana? Diana still didn't answer the phone. I had to reluctantly handle the matter myself. And the result was as predicted. I messed everything up. Party A was disappointed. Mr. Johnson, please be a little more professional. Your current state makes us doubt whether future cooperation can continue. I heard the whispers in the tea room. Johnson's mind isn't good anymore after the accident. I wonder if CEO Diana cares. Johnson was originally lifted up by CEO Diana. It's not surprising he's like this now. I heard CEO Diana went to Switzerland with someone else. The young guy Charlie. With her support, the resources are excellent, no need to discuss. Poor Johnson. This subsidiary company will probably struggle to survive. So, she had gone to Switzerland with her new lover. I suddenly remembered a summer full of cicada chirps. Sweating profusely. We used to hand out flyers together at the intersection. On the flyer, which was filled with images of the magnificent Alps, I once promised her, one day, we will definitely fly to Switzerland. We will see the lush green meadows, the vast white snow. We will see flocks of birds flying over the mountain peaks. We will hold each other tightly under the vast sky. But unfortunately, that day will never come. Only when something went wrong did Diana come to vent her frustration. She burst straight into my office, slamming her hand onto the desk. You can't even handle such a small matter. Johnson, are you planning to be a useless man your whole life? The staff outside curiously stretched their necks to look in. Only Charlie faintly smiled and closed the door. That night, I was too furious to look closely at her face. Only when I calmed down did I realize. She was so much like my younger self. Right in front of me. Her adoptive mother held her hand, gently comforting her. Don't blame him, his mind isn't well right now. My heart suddenly ached sharply. I asked Diana. So, you've always known? It turned out she knew I had amnesia. But she still let me stumble into 10 unfamiliar years. Watched me make mistakes over and over again. Staggering, struggling, becoming a laughingstock in the eyes of others. My dignity was crushed into the ground just like that. Diana's eyes flickered, the look of anger slowly cracking. She felt guilty. I challenged her. Diana, what right do you have to question me? Where were you when I was racking my brain dealing with this mess? Having fun in Switzerland with your lover, right? Charlie coldly interrupted. What Diana does is her right, what business is it of yours? I immediately said. You're nothing more than a gigolo. Let me tell you, if I don't agree to a divorce, you can forget about climbing up the social ladder your entire life. Charlie sneered. Didn't you promise to divorce? A man who doesn't keep his word is nothing. Hearing him speak, Diana's expression grew even colder. Only then did I understand how cruel the struggle between men could be. Diana hated promise breakers the most. Years ago, her adoptive mother promised to take her to the park if she got a perfect score. But then her mother got pregnant, and the promise was forgotten. That day, her mother still took her to the park. She sat on the merry-go-round, smiling brightly and calling, Mom, today is the happiest day of my life. Her mother said she was going to buy her ice cream. But after crossing the road, her figure disappeared into the crowd. Since then, her mother never returned. She was kidnapped by bad people. And only after many hardships did she make it to the orphanage. Therefore, Diana hated deception from a young age. Hating promises that could never come true. Her voice was calm, yet icy cold. Don't act like you're the terribly betrayed one. You were the one who suggested the divorce. Her brows furrowed. Just like a high mountain I couldn't cross. Impossible. I loved her so much. How could I have been the one to propose divorce? I was about to ask. But they held hands and walked away, right on my birthday. In the evening, Diana sought me out. No longer sharp-looking. She looked truly exhausted. There's a party tonight, I need you to accompany me. Will you go? If you go, when we return, I will clearly explain everything you suspect. I yearned for an answer. I was too confused. I wanted to know what those 10 years had brought us. As soon as we got out of the car, a crowd of reporters swarmed us. Madam, what is your relationship with Charlie? Did you really commit adultery in your marriage? Mr. Johnson, what is your opinion? Are you just going to let Charlie take your wife like that? I quickly embraced Diana, shielding her, and hurried into the hall. In that moment, I felt truly pathetic. Not long before, news of her and Charlie's affair was exposed by reporters. In the past, my story with her once caused a national sensation. Everyone said I was lucky. An orphan with nothing to his name managed to climb the high branch of the Garcia family. It wasn't until Diana posted an article on social media in which she clearly documented our past. Mr. Johnson and I met 15 years ago. When I was 7. The story is nothing special. We were childhood sweethearts, growing up together in the orphanage, holding hands as we stepped out into society. Young and reckless, we only wanted to start a career in the big city. Newly arrived in Beijing, we were penniless, cramped in a shabby, drafty rental room. Later, when we finally got decent jobs, one time passing by a high-end villa area, Mr. Johnson pointed to a house and said, "One day we will have a place like that, it will be our home." 2 orphans, for the first time daring to dream of a home. That day, even the air was sweet. But fate always loves to play tricks. During a health check for a new job, I discovered I had kidney failure. I thought, this is destiny. But Mr. Johnson was not reconciled. He shed tears, rushing me around looking for major hospitals. It turned out, his kidney was a match for me. He was as happy as a child. However, the surgery required a lot of money. We didn't have any. He borrowed from loan sharks, and was beaten half to death. They threatened that if he didn't pay the money, they would take his remaining kidney. I saw him return covered in injuries, frightened and crying, demanding to give up. He only stroked my head and told me to rest. Afterward, he desperately made money, delivering food and washing dishes during the day, singing for tips at a KTV at night. Once, he returned with a swollen face, holding a stack of money in his hand, smiling and saying, "Look, the money is enough." Only much later did I find out. Each bill was a slap the customers gave him. When he had nothing, he used half his life to give me a chance to live. You ask why we had to get married? Is this reason alone not enough? That post brought countless people to tears. A CP super topic named Diana was even created online. Our wedding was even live streamed, earning the company a hefty sum. As many people who cried for our love that day, that many people are now smugly mocking us. While attending the party with Diana to hide from the scandal, the hall entrance suddenly descended into chaos. Charlie, scruffy and red-eyed, was held back by security outside the door. As soon as he saw Diana, his eyes lit up. Finding strength from somewhere, he shoved everyone down, rushed straight to where we stood, grabbed her hand tightly, and urgently cried out. Diana frowned, her voice carrying a warning tone. "Charlie." Charlie paused, looking at her stubbornly. A moment later, his mouth turned down, his face full of disappointment, slowly letting go of her hand. Diana said coldly, "You go back first, we'll talk later if there's anything." She ultimately still wanted to save face. Too many people were watching here. Charlie was pulled away by security. But halfway there, he yelled as if going mad. "I can give up anything. Honor, face, I can give up everything. Being called a homewrecker doesn't matter. Diana, I just need you." He was drunk, reeking of alcohol, slurring his words. "Diana, I just need you, come with me. Without you, I can't live." His voice choked up at the end. I thought Diana would be embarrassed. But unexpectedly, her eyes welled up with tears, as if she were touched. A massive fear surged in my heart. I tightly grabbed her wrist. Diana looked deeply at me. "Johnson, do you know why I like him?" Her voice was so soft it was almost a whisper. But it felt like a knife slicing straight into my heart. "He is purer than you. Over the years, you have changed too much." I sneered. "The one who changed first is saying I change." I watched her rush to him without hesitation. The two hugging tightly, unfolding a grand tragedy together. She had forgotten today was our shared birthday. She once said she hated the birthday her adoptive mother set. wanting to spend all future birthdays with me. After being reunited with her family, Diana's father finally told her real birthday. The things of the past. Only I was left to remember. Everyone's pitying gaze focused on me. It truly was humiliating. So, this is what heartache feels like. The next day, Diana gave an interview, publicly stating, "Johnson and I had an early agreement to divorce. Now we only maintain a business partnership. Currently, Charlie and I have a stable relationship. And I hope everyone will wish us well." To protect her, she didn't hesitate to lie in public. A sharp reporter asked, "And the life-saving kindness from back then? How do you plan to repay it? If not for Johnson, how could you have lived to enter the Garcia family?" Diana's face darkened, and she smashed the microphone in front of the crowd. "My sincere affection became a laughingstock for the world. They called me pathetic. The one who gives their heart first is always the one who is betrayed first." I tracked them down to Diana and Charlie's love nest. They were kissing openly in front of the gate. I looked at them coldly. "Am I interrupting you too?" Charlie was flustered like a thief, quickly hiding Diana behind him. I stepped forward. "Diana, did you forget something?" She frowned, clearly not wanting to talk much. "I have to go clean up the mess you made. Can you stop pretending?" She still wanted to salvage the partnership that I ruined. Charlie opened the car door for her. "Diana, don't be angry about insignificant people. They're not worth it." Diana got into the car. Charlie kissed her cheek. "Have a safe trip, I'll wait for you to come back." That scene was truly blinding. I couldn't stand it, and bent down to slide into the car. "Then I'll go with you." The trip to the airport took 40 minutes. Enough time to clarify everything. Diana got out of the car, forcefully pulling me out. "Johnson, are you sick?" "Yes, I am sick. An incurable disease. At first, it was just not being able to hold a pen. Just falling without cause. Then muscle weakness, muscle atrophy, inability to eat by myself. And finally dying from respiratory failure." I smiled faintly. "If you don't talk today, I won't sign the divorce papers. We will keep dragging this out." Diana needed her reputation. She had publicly announced our divorce, so she wouldn't dare take me to court and make a scene. She could only wait for me to willingly sign the papers, to get the divorce certificate. Could she endure her lover being forever branded a homewrecker? She couldn't. She was inherently cool-headed, calculating every step, only momentarily acting rashly and lying for Charlie's reputation, allowing me to seize leverage with the divorce. She seemed to genuinely love him, loving him more than she ever loved me. Diana hated being threatened. She angrily cursed. "Johnson, you are disgusting. Why don't you just die?" Just as I was about to open my mouth, her eyes suddenly widened as if seeing something, and she pushed Charlie away. And someone rushed over. "Scammers, you are the ones who destroyed love." I sensed danger, and almost instinctively shielded her. A cold blade pierced into me. "Diana," she screamed. Passers-by gathered around, shouting, "Run!" Pain tore through my entire body. My legs went weak. I knelt down. Diana's voice was panicked. "Why didn't you dodge? You clearly could have dodged." I forced a bitter smile. "Protecting you has become my instinct." Diana shook my shoulders, screaming until her voice was hoarse. "Johnson, you can't close your eyes. Look at me, don't sleep." On her face, finally, there was no more hatred. No more gaze wishing for my death. The sun directly overhead was so dazzling that I had to squint. Countless memories instantly flooded back into my head. I remembered everything. I remembered it all. "Diana, I will no longer love you." Diana seemed to fall out of love with me in just one moment. She hid it from me, silently aborting our child. It wasn't until I saw the ultrasound paper in her jacket pocket that I knew she had been pregnant. I was mad with joy, rushing into her study to hug her, spinning her around. "I'm going to be a father." Yet her voice was cold. I aborted it. It was hard to describe the feeling at that moment: anger, pain, disappointment. I almost lost all reason. I slammed my fist onto the table. "Why, don't you like children? Didn't we talk long ago about having a child?" She showed a look of having anticipated this. "Johnson, I knew you would say that. But I'm so busy now. My life is completely upside down. Where would I find the time to raise a child? I almost blurted out. I can help you. Diana curled her lip into a mocking smile. I suddenly remembered, her father had instructed her carefully before he died. You must firmly grasp everything belonging to the Garcia family. People say he's a fortune hunter. Don't let him take away a single penny. So, from the very beginning, she had always been wary of me. Now I understand. She never truly trusted me. Diana dropped her smile and said coldly, if you really want a child, we can use a surrogate. I never thought such words would come out of her mouth. Do you know what surrogacy means? It turns a woman's uterus, turns the newly born child, into a commodity with a fixed price. To increase the success rate, they often implant multiple embryos at once. What happens to the ones the client doesn't need? They are either discarded as scraps of flesh in the restroom, or thrown out by the garbage dump to start a miserable life. Diana's face darkened. Can you stop lecturing me? I'm very annoyed and don't want to talk about this anymore. She was increasingly becoming like a cold, heartless capitalist. I took a deep breath, softening my voice. If you don't want to give birth, we can discuss it. We can adopt, or we can choose not to have children. But absolutely not like this. At least I have the right to know. She snapped. Then what do you want me to do? Do you think I have it easy? The entire company relies on me to survive. The day I came back from the hospital, I didn't even have time to rest before I had to go to a meeting. We were no longer speaking the same language. Finally, I gave up first, only sighing. Diana, you have changed. I suddenly understood. Love, under the erosion of interests and fame, would sooner or later be corrupted. That was our most violent argument. Diana rarely lost control, smashing all the wedding photo frames. A chaotic scene. After that, she met Charlie. When I woke up, Justin was sitting by the bed, his eyes red. Seeing me open my eyes, he burst into sobs. I smiled. I'm not dead, why are you crying? He choked out. The doctor said it almost hit your lung. I stroked his head. Be strong, son, don't cry. Diana, who had entered at some point, raised her eyebrow slightly. Oh, am I interrupting your father-son reunion scene? Justin seemed frightened, instinctively cowering closer to me. She misunderstood. Justin is my father's son. 20 years ago, my mother went to prison. My father disappeared, and I went to the orphanage. Later, my father died, and his young mistress came to me, shoving the child into my arms and leaving. I hated my father and didn't want anything to do with him anymore. But the child was innocent. Looking at Justin's face, I saw a reflection of my younger self, naive and helpless. Diana threw a few photos at me. Johnson, how exactly did I fail you? That you have to use this child to humiliate me? You've had a child outside for a long time. Yet you blame me for aborting the baby? Those were secretly taken pictures of me taking Justin to the park. It had been quite a while. I know you hate being deceived the most. Johnson, is this the lifetime you promised me? Justin was angry. He's my older brother, not my father. For a moment, Diana's gaze softened slightly. I coughed, hitting the painfully throbbing wound, and took a sharp breath. You are powerful and influential. Why didn't you secretly take us for a paternity test? Diana, you never trusted me. So just a few photos were enough to convict me of a crime out of the blue. She said sternly. Why didn't you tell me? I smiled faintly. Do you remember what your father called me? The son of a criminal. He never respected me. If I told you, and you told him, what would he say? He would say dragons give birth to dragons, phoenixes give birth to phoenixes, and rats only give birth to destructive vermin. He would say I would sooner or later become a criminal like my mother. Sooner or later learn from my father to commit adultery. Sooner or later have a mistress and an illegitimate child. Diana desperately needed her father's love. Aside from marrying me, she obeyed him in everything else. She didn't realize how deeply her father's words had affected her. I was very afraid that in her eyes, I had become a different person. Diana sighed, her eyes full of helplessness. We shouldn't have ended up like this. You should have told me sooner. I found it funny. Don't make excuses anymore. Didn't you only suspect I had an illegitimate child after you started seeing Charlie? Those photos of Justin and me were also taken after you cheated. Your abortion has nothing to do with Justin. Yet now you want to dump all the blame on me, blaming me for hiding it. I looked straight at her. Diana, let's get a divorce. I'm tired. She faintly moved her lips. Wait until you've recovered before talking about it. No need to wait. My hand isn't injured, I can sign. I had waited too long. Waited until the last bit of affection was completely worn away and shattered. This is not the ending I wanted. I sighed. Diana, you were the one who said it. Even if everyone else abandoned us, it wouldn't matter. We would still have a home of our own. But then you broke your promise. Diana slammed the door and left. In the end, she still didn't give me the divorce papers. The police came to take a statement. They said the assailant was a fan of Diana and me. He claimed that we made him believe in love, that he lived through our love. But we had deceived him. He screamed and accused. It's trash like you. That defiles sacred love. After the police left, I remained silent for a very long time, until an unwelcome guest shattered the silence. He rushed in, slapping me hard. Can you just get out of this city? You curse. Was destroying our family not enough? Now you want to destroy Charlie too? He gripped my throat tightly. Why did I give birth to trash like you? Just die, go and die. My mother had seen the news. The report read, her beloved youngest son was nearly injured. And she blamed everything on me. She wanted, just like 20 years ago, to strangle me. Strangling you, everything will be fine. Let go of my brother. Justin dropped his lunchbox, rushing over to bite her arm tightly. She hit and kicked him. The 12-year-old boy's strength was not small. She was in so much pain she had to let go of me. Then turned to slap him. Where did this brat come from? Daring to ruin my good business. My wound tore open again. The smell of blood gradually spread. I gasped, coughing violently, feeling my illness worsen. In that moment, I couldn't control my body at all. As she was being dragged away by security, my mother kept cursing. Just die sooner. Stop harming my Charlie. I've been to prison anyway. My life is worthless. Dare to touch a hair on his head, and I will fight you to the death. The doctor treated my wound. Justin glanced at it, took a deep breath, and complained. Brother, why didn't you fight back? I just smiled bitterly, not answering. In the afternoon, I was back on the hot search. Diana Charlie, mother curses Johnson. Charlie's mother is a criminal. Charlie was adopted. Clicking on it, there was a clip of my mother being escorted away by hospital security. Public opinion exploded violently. So Charlie's mother was once in prison. No wonder it's not surprising he became a homewrecker. Johnson is the real victim. He's the one who was stabbed. And what was Charlie's mother thinking coming here to blame him? Charlie, speak up. You're a major celebrity making money. But is the person your mother hurt living well? Charlie didn't say a word. Instead, Diana came forward to defend him. She still wore her radiant, resolute expression. Just because a person's mother once committed a crime, does that mean she doesn't deserve to be a mother? She is a criminal, she is indeed aggressive. But she truly loves her child. She is still a good mother. I stared blankly at everything. The wind swept past, leaving only a cold patch on my face. After the age of 8, this was the first time I cried. Charlie is my maternal half-brother. My mother gave birth to him in prison. When she was pregnant, my stepfather, who hated me as a burden, tried to strangle me. An 8-year-old child's strength was limited. He called my mother for help. That man smiled and told the police. As long as she came, he wouldn't move anymore. If you hadn't arrived in time, he definitely would have died. Diana was furious, sentencing him to 10 years in prison. My mother was an accomplice, receiving 7 years. Yet now Diana said, she is a good mother. I called her. This time she answered. I asked, do you really think she's a good mother? Diana was silent for a long time. Finally, she countered. What do you think I can do? Now Charlie is the spokesperson for Sophia Corp. Can I say in front of everyone that his mother is scum? Perhaps having been disappointed too many times. My voice was unusually calm. Do you remember what you promised me? She sighed. I remember. I remember it all. But I am different now. Every word I say, every single phrase, I have to be responsible to the public for. No, you've forgotten. That year, you were the one who grit your teeth and said, "Your mother is insane. No one in this world deserves death more than her. If she dares to show up again, I will be the first one to take a knife and kill her. From now on, I will love you on behalf of everyone." She had forgotten everything. I remained silent. Diana said again, "Johnson, I know you've endured a lot of grievances. I will compensate you. All my suffering was summarized in her 2 words, compensate you." She lowered her voice. "Johnson, please do it for me, okay? Don't pursue this any further. Some things that are in the past should be left there. I will visit you later." The needle hasn't pricked her, so she can't know the pain. Very quickly, public opinion shifted again. Charlie is Charlie. His mother is his mother. Just because a mother commits a crime, should the children also be implicated? Must I carry the guilt for the rest of my life? That's right. But Charlie wasn't raised by his mother. He and his mother are fundamentally different. Even Diana once said, he and his mother are 2 entirely different people. So why am I still the son of a criminal? It turns out, people with a background similar to mine can be forgiven. But why is his background not considered original sin, while mine is treated as such? In that moment, I was forced to admit, he is loved by so many people. As soon as he was born, he was adopted by a decent family, growing up happily until he was 20, and then entering the entertainment industry. Newly in the profession, just with a handsome face, he became instantly famous. My mother felt guilty towards him. A person as afraid of hardship as she was. Went to work as a nanny for the simple family, caring for his paralyzed grandfather, even though she had to empty bedpans and clean up feces and urine every day. She accepted staying, just so she could see him a couple of times a year. And now even Diana loves him. He has everything, lacking nothing. He receives too much love. He has everything I long for. I truly envy him. I decided not to spare myself any longer. I opened a live stream. The controversy had been too loud recently, and viewers poured in. I coughed once, then slowly told the whole story. My mother's name is Wonder Woman. She gave birth to me when she was 20. When I was 6, both my parents had simultaneous affairs. No one wanted to raise me. My father even left without getting a divorce. My mother couldn't find him, so she carried me through a precarious existence. Then she met Charlie's biological father. I smiled bitterly. After becoming pregnant, she made a great decision. You tell me, is a mother like that what they call a good mother? Comments flew up rapidly. Holy crap, what Johnson said is true. Even a vicious tiger won't eat its cubs. His mother is a beast. How could Diana not know about this? And yet she still defends Charlie's mother. That's truly disgusting. Johnson's pain was all caused by Charlie. If not for him, nothing would have happened. Now he's even stealing someone else's wife. It's a death sentence to know him. Charlie and Diana. How can those 2 still have the audacity to call Wonder Woman a good mother? Go to hell. This time, Diana didn't furiously scold me anymore. The next day, she came to the hospital, bringing the divorce papers. Johnson, I am truly disappointed in you. I looked closely at the agreement. Diana was quite generous, allocating a fair amount to me. Before the marriage, under great pressure from Diana's father, we had signed a prenuptial agreement for asset division. So even with the divorce, I could only receive a sum of money and a few properties, while the majority of the assets were not related to me. But I didn't care anyway. I was on the verge of death. What was the point of fighting over those things? I thought to myself, this is already a lot. Charlie, however, was furious at this moment. Johnson, what's the meaning of pretending to concede? Do you think Diana will still be soft-hearted? Do you know how badly you've harmed us? If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be getting cursed at this much. I smiled faintly. Fine. Then Diana should give me more. I need money. If not, I will publicly announce to the media that we are not divorced. And Charlie is the third party. I don't mind your reputation rotting a little more. Diana's face momentarily changed color. Charlie knew he had spoken out of turn. and didn't dare say another word. Diana called the lawyer to amend the contract right there. She had the money. As soon as I signed my name, the amount was immediately transferred to my account. Johnson, from now on, let's consider our debt settled. She sighed in relief, as if a great burden had been lifted. This money can be considered repaying the kindness my mother once showed him. I nodded. When you have time, let's go together to get the divorce certificate. She said, okay. Afterward, I donated the entire sum to welfare institutions. I didn't keep anything. Only that one villa remained. It was our newlywed home. Back then, Diana wasn't as busy as she is now. We designed it together. Personally supervised the decoration, filling the place little by little. Finally, it took on the look of a home, as we imagined. I finally had a place to belong. It's just a pity that such a big house was later only inhabited by me alone. The Garcia family business was in footwear and apparel. After I live-streamed, public opinion was outraged. No one wanted to buy shoes or clothes under Diana's command anymore. Sophia Corp's competitors also seized the opportunity to wage war, plunging the corporation into consecutive crises. Not only that, after the big scandal, my stepfather learned that Charlie was his biological son. He went to the Simple family's house to cause trouble, went to Sophia Corp's company to cause trouble, and even went to Charlie's film set to riot. Wonder Woman loved her son. During one argument, she pulled out a knife and stabbed him. My stepfather snatched the knife and stabbed her back. The two ultimately perished together. A few months later, I could barely walk anymore. I asked an agent to help sell the villa. I advertised it for a long time, but no one bought it. I asked why, and the agent bluntly said, "Mr. Johnson, people with money now believe in feng shui. The scandal between you and Ms. Diana was everywhere. With the marriage ending like that, everyone is afraid of being affected. Furthermore, the price you're asking is too high. No one dares to buy it. You can only lower the price. People naturally prefer to flatter the powerful and step on the weak. No longer, Mr. Johnson. No one treated me with courtesy anymore." At that moment, a cold voice rang out behind me. "Don't sell it anymore, get lost." It was Diana. She was as beautiful as ever. A stark contrast to my worn-out appearance. She asked me why I had to sell it. I said, "Looking at this house disgusts me." Though I sounded tough, I was actually very reluctant inside. It's just that I didn't have many days left. I had to leave something for Justin, so the boy could grow up properly. A flash of anger crossed Diana's face. Her eyes lingered on my face, suddenly darkening. "What new injuries have you sustained?" I lied carelessly. "Fell from the stairs, just a broken leg." I didn't want her to see my most wretched state. When I was close to death, Justin was about to return. I said, "The boy doesn't like you, you should leave." The villa was cold. I brought Justin home. On the very first day, the boy hugged me tightly, sobbing, "I have a home now. I have a home, that's so great." I also had a home again. Diana eventually found out the news. One day, when I opened my eyes, I saw her standing by the bedside, her eyes red and swollen, as if she had been crying all night. When she spoke, her voice was both hoarse and trembling. "Why? It's just fate," I smiled faintly. "My entire life. My childhood was shattered and tarnished. My youth was obscure and struggled. My young adulthood was slandered and guarded against. My whole life, I was hated by people. I needed an outlet to explain my tragedy, to soothe my reluctance. So, I blamed everything on fate. In retrospect, it's quite ironic. She didn't say another word, just silently sat by my bed. I waved my hand. "Diana, I'm about to die. You don't need to come here and pretend to be deeply in love. Even when I die, I won't remember you." She shook her head violently, tears streaming down like broken pearls. "Don't treat me like this. Johnson, please don't." Clearly, I was the one about to die. But the one trembling was her. She no longer maintained the glamorous appearance of a goddess. She was haggard every day, personally taking care of me in the smallest details. During those days, I suddenly realized that money no longer mattered. Why didn't I believe you? I once thought you changed. It turns out the one who changed was me. Johnson, I know I was wrong. Without you, My life is miserable. Get well. When you're well, we'll start over. We'll remarry. And have a child of our own. I looked up at the stark white ceiling and asked her, Diana, have you ever thought, what have these 10 years brought us? Of course, you gained a lot. But I lost too much. Lost pure love. Lost my health. Lost hope for the future. Lost even the dreams of my youth. I have nothing left. She only knew how to repeat her apologies. Even whispering, I'm sorry, in her sleep. Afterward, Charlie burst into the hospital room, yelling, Johnson, you're about to die, yet you still want to snatch her love away? You deserve to die. Your entire life was a mistake. You're an orphan, unloved by anyone. Diana slapped him hard. Shut up. Charlie choked, not daring to speak. Diana gripped his neck tightly, forcing him to bow his head. I want you to apologize to him. Fine, I apologize. I spoke viciously. I shouldn't have said that. He was over 6 feet tall. Yet at this moment, his eyes were also red-rimmed. Then he spoke while crying, wishing he was the one with this terminal illness, instead of letting his brother bear this pain alone. That way, I would always be by my brother's side. And look at you a little more. I forced a bitter laugh. How crazy. How can love be more important than life? Every word of Charlie's revealed deep affection. But this time, Diana didn't spare him another glance. Charlie was disappointed, turning to criticize me, his eyes full of rage. Are you satisfied now that I've been harmed like this? Are you smug now? Johnson, how long will you be smug? You won't live much longer. Diana immediately delivered a powerful kick to his stomach, her face ferocious as if she wanted to devour him alive. If I ever hear those words again, you know the consequences. Charlie, I will genuinely kill you. She turned back to comfort me. Johnson, don't listen to his nonsense. We all love you. Justin loves you too. From now on, we are a family. I whispered. I'm not sad. Truly. My father also said such things many times before. Diana froze completely, profusely apologizing. I'm sorry, Johnson, I'm sorry. Later, Justin told me. Charlie's life was effectively over. He was exposed for tax evasion. And even recklessly burned the account books. He would go to jail, unable to lift his head for the rest of his life. Diana asked me, Are you satisfied now? She pressed her cheek against the back of my hand, gently saying, Without a face that looks like yours, he is nothing. Diana, you are truly too cold-hearted. She looked up at me, her lips trembling violently, pretending to be foolish, whispering, It's okay, with you, I'm not cold-hearted. I will love you forever. As my body deteriorated day by day, my temper became increasingly eccentric. With just a little displeasure, I would use the most venomous words to scold Diana. But she would only gently feed me water, coaxing me to breathe steadily. You deserve to suffer. You hurt me once. Now being hated by me is what you deserve. I didn't bother to feel grateful, continuing to scold. You crazy woman, can you just get out? Seeing you makes me nauseous. Don't touch me, you filthy thing. Filthy thing. Her eyes darkened, but after a moment, she forced a smile. What do you want to eat tonight? Shall I cook you some pork rib and corn soup? It's been a long time since you ate my cooking. I summoned all my strength, lifting my arm and slapping her. The slap wasn't painful, but the sound was crisp. In our 20 years of acquaintance, this was the first time I had physically lashed out at her. Diana's eyes quickly turned red. Can you stay far away? Stop coming here to disgust me, all right? Do you think you're so devoted? How can someone like you be worthy of loving me? She remained silent for a long time, then stood up and left. I sighed in relief. She finally left. No need to continue acting anymore. That night, I heard Diana bursting into loud sobs in the doctor's room. Why am I paying you tens of millions? Yes, save him for me. If you can't save him, your careers are over too. Justin quickly ran to close the door of the patient room. Seeing that I was still closing my eyes, he thought I hadn't woken up, and breathed a sigh of relief. I knew we had reached the end of the road. This was the world's top medical team treating motor neuron disease. But a terminal illness is a terminal illness, overcoming it is too difficult. Later, a video circulated everywhere. In heavy rain, a woman who was always elegant and glamorous was kneeling and bowing with every step, muttering prayers, her choked sobs echoing in the wind and rain. That devout appearance moved countless people. Netizens guessed it must be a mother. No, my mother never loved me that much. With just a glance, I immediately recognized that woman. Around her neck, she was wearing the safety talisman I had prayed for her when she was ill years ago. Later, sharp-eyed netizens tracked down that it was Diana. And then uncovered the news that I was gravely ill. Diana came to apologize. My fault. You don't want them to see you like this now. Johnson, rest assured. I will protect you, no one will bother you anymore. The days of incessant wind and rain made her face incredibly pale. She brought all sorts of things. Kind statues of God, safety talismans, blessed prayer beads, sacred necklaces. The entire hospital room was cramped. Johnson, do you remember? When you prayed for that safety talisman for me. I actually recovered afterward. This time, you will be the same as me, you will slowly get better. In her eyes, a light called hope flared up. She lowered her head onto my chest, letting out a long, endless sigh. She placed all her hope in God, begging for a chance for me to survive. But she forgot. I had never been granted any mercy in this life. Very quickly, I couldn't speak anymore. Diana stayed by my bedside day and night, constantly recounting our old stories. I was utterly bored of listening, I didn't want to hear anymore. Justin understood my intention and chased her away. Diana refused. When I got angry, she would sit outside the room. When I was calm, she would return to my side. Just like a piece of tenacious sticking plaster, impossible to peel off. Just like when I was a child. One clear, sunny afternoon, I suddenly felt weary. Justin tightly grasped my hand, refusing to let go no matter what. Diana cried a lot. You've suffered too much this life. The next life will definitely be better. Go slowly. Just a little slowly, wait for me. I slowly closed my eyes. Even the god of death said I suffered too much this life, the king of the underworld would compensate me. In the next life, I will have parents who love me, who truly love me. I will live a full life free of sickness, free of pain, and perfectly happy. I whispered. That's good, that's good. Diana, in the next life, and the life after that. Let's not meet again, okay? Afterward. After Johnson died, Diana also fell ill. She was like a flower plucked from the soil named Johnson, quickly withering away. She sat blankly beside the hospital bed, gazing intently at his face. The doctor wanted to take his organs. His heart would be transplanted into someone else, thus extending his life in a way. Ms. Diana, this was Mr. Johnson's last wish. Diana suddenly bit hard into the doctor's wrist. Get out. The woman who had always been strong and tough now had a distorted, twisted face, clutching her dead lover tightly in her arms. It was a sight no one had ever witnessed. Justin peeled her fingers away one by one. What right do you have to interfere with his decision? The kidney you have was given by him. Now he wants to donate this heart. And it has nothing to do with you. He was truly the little wolf she raised. Clearly frightened, yet still straightening his back, desperately protecting his brother. Looking at Justin's stubborn face, Diana suddenly remembered Johnson as a child. Back then, he also stood in front of her, telling the bullies, the one who dares to touch her, I'll beat you to death. Even if I have no mother or father, I'm not afraid to die. He was clearly afraid, yet still struggled to shield her. Diana's eyes were filled with tears, and she finally let go. Before the cremation, in the darkness, she lightly traced the contours of his body. Touching every scar, every cold, rigid vein. She pressed close to feel. That chest no longer conveyed the familiar heartbeat. Only then did she truly believe he had left her. Diana suddenly remembered the first time they quarreled. She messed up the house, and loudly declared she would never return. That night, she was cold and hungry. She thought, even if home was just a damp basement, where sunlight never reached, at least Johnson would still hug her. His arms were truly warm. In the end, Diana couldn't resist and returned. The house had been cleaned, and on the table was the small cake he had wanted to eat but couldn't bear to buy. The director once said, a child who makes a mistake only has a chance to be forgiven if they clean up their dormitory room themselves. He had forgiven her. But this time, What must she do for him to forgive her again? Diana buried her face in her hands, finally bursting into silent sobs. When did it become like this? In the 3rd year after Johnson's passing, Diana felt a burden lifted. She sold everything, including the corporation. She used all the money to build orphanages, one after another. The children all called her Mother Diana. Sometimes, she vaguely remembered the afternoon she learned she was pregnant. She could no longer clearly recall her state of mind. When she aborted the baby, she only remembered Johnson's look of disappointment. She only remembered wildly smashing all the wedding photos. She wanted to tell him, "Look, now we have so many children. Don't be angry with me anymore." In the 5th year after Johnson's death, Diana's stomach pain grew more frequent. One time, while playing with the children, she fainted from the pain. When she woke up, a circle of little ones surrounded the hospital bed. After she comforted the children and sent them away, the doctor informed her it was stomach cancer. The year Johnson died, she lived on alcohol, vomiting blood many times from drinking. Today's result actually brought her joy deep down. Finally she could go to meet him. Would he wait for her? Surely, he would wait.